Guys, I know we've been crowded and having a lot of crap going on with the X and Y stuff coming out right now, and there's so much information and it's just coming at you all so fast. It's crazy. But yes, I know. So for the sake of you guys, this video will not be about any X and Y information and crap like that, but I'm gonna take it back to TCG. Also, I apologize for last week for not uploading because I was really tired. I was drained and exhausted from my job to the point where I didn't wake up until almost like maybe 7 o'clock. I was up beforehand, but I fell asleep again, so yeah, it didn't really matter. So anyways, what this video today is going to be about is draw power. Now, as you all know, I love to play TCG, and I'm sure a lot of you guys like to play too. So obviously when it comes to building your own decks, you need good draw power. No matter what the deck is, you need good draw power. Now I'm going to go over all the cards that have pretty decent and some have real excellent draw power. Now in the background I'll probably have some nice little picture, or I don't know, I'm feeling kind of like watery today because I also got a cold, but it's okay. So probably some water Pokemon there, I don't know, maybe. Let's just get right into it. First card on the list is Sharon. Sharon is a simple supporter card that allows you to draw 3 cards. And that's good. Sometimes people can't afford to get some of the other cards on the list, or they can't seem to get it online. And Sharon's a pretty easy card to get because he comes standard in most of the starter decks that you get, especially now that you have the new black and white stuff out on TCGO for free. There's another card on this list that you can get in there for free, and I think there's another one too, but we'll see. Next card is actually a stadium card, which is Battle City. Battle City is a pretty unique card because it allows you to flip a coin. If heads, you get to draw 1 card, but it also works for your opponent, so that's probably one of the downsides of it. But it's a great way to have something to give you a little more extra draw power in case you actually do get the heads. Plus, it's a great way of getting rid of Verbanks or any other supported stadiums in play. Next, we have Bianca. Bianca is a pretty simple card. Basically what Bianca does is she's also another supporter where you draw until you have 6 cards in your hand. So the most beneficial way of using Bianca would be to make sure that you have no type of cards in your hand. As in, maybe you have 1 or 2 cards in your hand and Bianca gets played down, you'll have 1 or 2 cards remaining in your hand. So if you have 2 remaining in your hand, you draw 4 cards. If you have 1 card in your hand left, you draw 5. And if you don't have any cards in your hand and you play Bianca, you draw 6 cards. So Bianca is a pretty good card, but at times it can be very situational. So it's one of those cards where sometimes it's not really good late game and they could cost you some problems. Next, we have Juniper. This is probably one of the best cards in the entire meta game. It's also a supporter card, and with Juniper allows you to discard your hand, all cards in your hand, and you draw 7 new cards. So that alone is already really good because you can use this card in any type of point in the match. Unlike Bianca, it's not a situational card. It could be a very painful card because you could be discarding things that you don't want to discard, but you need to get into another hand to draw something else, and you will have to end up discarding those cards in your hand. But sometimes it's usually worth it because Juniper is a very good card, probably the best draw power card within the entire game. It depends, it probably is, but that's what I think. I think Juniper is probably the best draw power card in the entire game. Next, we have N. N's a pretty cool card, but it's also another supporter. See if you're noticing a trend here. Most cards that you require draw power are supporters. N is a pretty cool card. He's really good in the beginning, or depending on how the game is going, it can be good at any point in the match. N allows you to shuffle back the cards in your hand, and you draw cards equal to the number of prizes left. Now, N also works on your opponent. So both you and your opponent shuffle your hands back into your decks, and you draw cards equal to the amount of prize cards you have left. So, N could be a really good card. It is a really good card. And in certain situations, it could do a lot. And it could be very game-changing to the point where, let's see, you could be stuck in a point of the match. And then you need to draw some cards, and your opponent has almost an entire full hand, and he has only 3 prizes left. If you draw N, you could limit down his entire hand, his or her entire hand, to just 3 cards. And from there, it could be game-changing. So N is certainly one of the really good cards in the game too. Next, we have Colress. Colress, oh man, is indeed a very powerful draw card. It is really good, but my only problem with it is it can really shorten your deck pretty fast. Colress is also another supporter, and what he does is you draw cards, you shuffle your hand back into your deck. Then you draw cards equal to the amount of bench Pokemon on the field. I don't know if it's also in play, but I think it's just a bench Pokemon. So that includes your bench and your opponent's bench. So if you had a full bench, a full 5-card bench of Pokemon, and so does your opponent, you literally draw 10 cards that one turn. Now, can you not see how amazing that is? In that one turn, you can do some very gameplay changing damage. It's just, oh, sorry, my nose. But it's just amazing because Colress can do so much. And now I know what you're thinking. How is this card not better than Juniper? Well, here's the thing. What if you don't have that many Pokemon in play, and neither does your opponent? Like I said, Juniper is a well-rounded card that is good at any point in the match. Colress can have its times where maybe you could only have 1 prize left, but you're stuck. And in order for you to get more cards, you need to get some good draw power going. And if you draw a Colress, maybe you don't have enough Pokemon on the bench, and neither does your opponent. Who knows? Next, we have Bicycle. Yes, this is going to be probably one of the only item cards that allows you to draw. I haven't really thoroughly looked through the list. I just basically picked out all the ones that are pretty decent, or the ones that are pretty much more used than others. And Bicycle is pretty good. It's just like another Bianca, but it allows you to draw until you have 4 cards. Very small, but this works really well in decks that get rid of their hands pretty fast. So for example, Keldeo Blastoise. It works pretty well in that deck because you most likely draw into a lot of energy, and if you have Blastoise, you load up the Keldeo from the energy from your hand, and then if you need to get other things, you can use Bicycle. You can most likely end up drawing exactly 4 cards or 3 more. So that's a pretty good one. Next is Getsis. This is actually the last card on the list. And Getsis is also a pretty good card. It's a supporter as well. And what Getsis does is that your opponent reveals his or her hand. And once they reveal it, any item cards that they have in his or her hand, they have to shuffle it back into their deck, and you draw as many cards as they shuffled back in. So, say if you're kind of stuck and your opponent had Juniper recently and just has an entire brand new hand, and you can potentially slow him down. Maybe you can get rid of a lot of the stuff that he needs to use, like certain item cards, like Floatstone, for example, is a really good one, or any type of tools like Eviolite or Rocky Helmet. Sorry. And even Darkclaw for Darkrai decks, and Hypnotoxic Laser. See, stuff like that. Anything that's an item card will be shuffled right back into the deck, and you draw cards equal to the amount that were shuffled in. That's actually pretty good. Again, not the best one because maybe your opponent does not have a hand at all, or maybe your opponent only has like 2 or 3 cards. And maybe they won't even be item cards, it would just be a Pokemon and an energy or a stadium. So, again, guess this is a pretty good card, but I have to put Juniper up there as probably the best draw cards, the best power. I can't even talk. Draw power card in the entire metagame so far. That's just what I think. And even though I'm sick, I still want to make the video for you guys. Even though that's what I think, maybe you guys have different opinions. Maybe this N helped you a lot more than Juniper and other stuff like that. But I'm just going by situations. Juniper is good at any point given in time. Yes, sometimes it's painful to discard some of the cards you have, but Juniper for sure has to be one of the best cards out there. So, with that, guys, I also have to announce the next giveaway that I posted last week. Only one person entered, and I guess that's because no one actually watched the video or watched it all the way through. So, even though I should be fair and let that one person get the card, but I don't want to do that because I think it's unfair for not giving you all the fair chance. But at the same time, that's your fault for not watching. So, I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm just going to give it to that person. So, congratulations, Silver August, because you're the only one who put in a comment at that video. So, yeah, he won that Kyurem giveaway. So, unfortunate for you guys. Maybe you guys should learn to watch. But I do have another giveaway coming, so stay tuned for that. So, Silver League, I'll see you guys next week.